to defer a little bit, so they'll kick off in this football game. Let's talk early storyline with Mount Carmel going on offense. Dave Shinsky is the freshman quarterback. This is a rebuild offensive line, Mark, for Whitey Williams.
No question. A great offensive line left Mount Carmel Red Tornadoes last year. They have a bunch of upperclassmen up there, but they're basically first-year starters. So they've gained experience throughout the year. Sean Thomas, Matt O'Brien, and company. And here are the skill people for Mount Carmel. Dave Shinsky, freshman quarterback. He is going to be a good one. Some coaches were watching him up in the booth here in warm-ups, and he's got great form, great technique. John Beach, a great tailback for Mount Carmel. Nick Sebas, he's going to be out of the slot back formation, and he's a very dangerous, very speedy offensive threat.
Scott Gummo, 5'11", 265, will kick off. You're looking at his back. He's number 65 there. Kind of reminds you of Lou Groza, Lou Michaels, who kicked for the Baltimore Colts for a while. This is a great baseball prospect from what John Franco was telling us.
Looks
so
like he's got to be a catcher.
Well, set to go. Mount Carmel with a lot of explosive weapons. One is Nick Sebas, who started the year a quarterback, started this game last year and won it as a quarterback. High end-over-end kick. It's going to be taken here by John Beach. Beach is coffee quick, slithers across the 25 to about the 27-yard line. 20-yard return for John Beach, whose older brother Brett Beach, playing at the University of Delaware, starred in this 1996 game against Tyrone.
His dad, Bob Beach Jr., had a great high school career at Mount Carmel. He went on to become an outstanding running back at Susquehanna University. Bob Beach III, an older brother, went to Lafayette, so big Beach tradition with Mount Carmel.
And off Brett Beach, not much room there. In on the stop for Tyrone is going to be Mike McNeilis.
This Tyrone team only giving up 91 yards per game on the ground, and you see the Tyrone defense right there, Jed.
McNeilis just made the big play for them, and their secondary is very fast as well. Motion man Sebas, they'll use him in a variety of ways, and here's wide of the corner. Sebas, one man to beat, still alive, has midfield and slices and dices to the 49-yard line. It's a gain of 21 for Nick Sebas, and you're looking at the AP Small School Player of the Year in 1998, utilized in a lot of different ways here today.
Take a look right here. Nick Sebas, who normally was a quarterback, they now put him into a position where he can run as he did with the sweep as a quarterback, and he gets around that far side. First down for Mount Carmel.
Would be a quarterback today had he not broken his hands, which Mark will talk about. There's Sebas in motion again. They'll slam. This is Al Bailey. Big hole to the outside. Has 10, has 15, and still rumbling all the way down to the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 19 more, and Mount Carmel taking them off significant chunks on first down on this drive. There's the secondary and linebacker core for Tyrone.
A couple of those guys. Doug Roseberry was district first-team All-Star. Steve Johnson, very fast back there in the secondary.
Pitch will go to Beach. Beach meets head on right there. Doug Roseberry, who Mark was just talking about. We'll call his name all afternoon and on the stop for Tyrone after Beach carries for a gain of maybe 2.
You know, we saw a short time ago Al Bailey, that big run out of the fullback spot. He's fullback and linebacker, and he loves those two positions. As you look at Roseberry make that big stop, he says everything's straight up. There are no tricks. You just have to hit the person in front of you.
Mount Carmel with an impressive drive to start the football game. This will be Beach again, has a big hole. He slithers forward to about the 21-yard line. A gain of 7. It's close to a first down, maybe about a yard shy.
Real good blocking up front right now from Mount Carmel. You see that right-hand side just kind of open up, and you'll see it right over here. Freeze it right there for a moment. Now you see the lead out right here. Pulling guard on this. Now let's finish the play out, and you'll see the hole open up.
About 10 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. Mount Carmel on the march, looking at 3rd and 1. This will be Beach again. Make it Al Bailey, rather. First down, no problem. Good thrust on the right side of the Mount Carmel offensive wall. Again, an offensive line, one of the hardest things to rebuild, Mark, but Whitey Williams patiently waiting, played 7 teams in the playoffs, has the unit he needs to maybe win gold again.
Yeah, and what you just saw was the offensive line get a good push, get enough for first down yards. This offensive line has gelled game by game. Coach Whitey Williams very happy with its progress.
Dave Shinsky, the freshman quarterback. They'll swing it around on a power toss to Nick Sebas. He flies to the 11-yard line, a gain of 4.
You know, it's amazing. Whitey Williams 12-0 in state playoff games, and a lot of people are saying, Jed, this may be his best effort ever, getting this team to a state final this year. We've talked about rebuilding the lines, but so far they have really mixed it up well in this drive.
Yeah, they have. Dave Shinsky, the freshman quarterback, has not yet had to go to the air. They are facing a very stiff wind just outside the 10-yard line.
Any score against this breeze significant today. It's going to be Veach. Slides through, has the 5. Goal to go. Mount Carmel, first and goal at the 3-yard line. Well, I'll tell you what, the guy on this drive, the center, Brad Swaldy, 5'11", 230, has been a handful for Tyrone.
Look at the fake counter motion. Now watch, stop there. Right here, look at the hole that opens up right in here, and then he'll just flit right on through there. You see Veach coming right on through. He's done it so many times.
Great block by Swaldy. Great block by Al Bailey, the fullback. He's done that all year long.
Matt Van Doren lined off your screen at a wide receiver spot. Mount Carmel. It's going to be Veach again. Not much in there as Tyrone punches it up with Scott Gummo, Joe Lehner. 5'8", 211.
Gummo did a nice job of submarining the play that time. You'll see him dive in here. Gummo in underneath there, known for the foot and now known for the dive as well.
10th play of the drive upcoming here for Mount Carmel with 8:25 and counting to go in the opening quarter. Opening possession of the football game. Power toss, Sebas picks his way forward, still alive, goes to about the 1.5. 3rd and goal to go, right at about the 1.5-yard line.
You can't say enough about Nick Sebas, what he's done for this team, and he's just a real good kid. Coach Whitey Williams says Nick Sebas, number 5, carrying the ball towards the goal line. He's just the kind of kid that you want your daughter to bring home. Nice kid, very bright student, top 5 in his class. After he's done here at Mount Carmel, he's heading to Stanford on a full ride, going to the Harvard of the West.
3rd and 1. They're on their feet on both sides. 11th play of the drive. Quarterback keeper Shinsky dives in as he close. Touchdown, Mount Carmel. 11-play drive to open the football game. And they chew up 4 minutes and 20 seconds in the process. And the red and white are on the lead early.
The honor goes to a freshman, Jed, getting the first touchdown here in the state championship game for Mount Carmel. Dave Shinsky, starting his 5th game, is now on the board, and so is Mount Carmel, 6-0.
His nudges in there right behind his center, Swaldy. For the conversion, Sean Thomas of Mount Carmel. This is anything with automatic blocked. They got good movement in there and swatted away. We'll have a look at the block. That's significant. Any missed extra point. That ball just had no chance. He just didn't get this in the air at all.
Looks like maybe Scott Gummo.
It's Gummo again coming through right here. Gummo got his hand up, did a great job of knocking that ball down and denies it. You'll see it again. Look right here. See one more time. Coming up right here.
I don't know if he can jump too far over this week's Sports Illustrated. That ball's kind of kicked right at him.
Well, the lines on the field seemed a little high, but I'll tell you what, not on that play. He got up pretty good for a big guy.
He's not going to be invited to too many dunking contests, but
unless they have to do with donuts and coffee.
Player, 5'11", 265. For those of you watching the PIAA football finals at home, you're tuned in to the Pennsylvania Cable Network, a public service of your local cable television company. Welcome. That's a big play, considering this is like a pick'em game. Both these, doesn't matter who you talk to, the various experts, Mark, everybody's got good arguments for Mount Carmel and a lot of good ones as well for Tyrone.
No question about it. Tyrone undefeated on the season. And you mentioned earlier, Jed, it's a bonus to either team. If you go take your drive into the wind and come away with some points, and Mount Carmel did just that.
End over end kick, going to be fielded by Jamal Owens. Owens, not much room to play with at the 23-yard line. Jamal, a 5'6" senior.
Jamal's cousin, Marcus Owens, played in the 1996 game, a great tailback for Tyrone. Coach John Franco's Golden Eagles.
You know, guys, what's interesting on that last touchdown, first of all, you've got a team that's only been averaging 23.5 points a game in Mount Carmel. Second of all, as you see the dive here by Shinsky, second of all, they score into the wind, so momentum goes early to the side of Mount Carmel, and now a chance to answer for the Tyrone Golden Eagles.
Brandon Hoover is a good-looking quarterback. Their backfield, dynamic. Lucas and Jesse Jones. Hoover's going to drop back to throw on first down. Has his big tight end. That's Tyler Beckwith. He's a handful. 6'4", 205. They'll look for him underneath all afternoon long.
Beckwith just a little block along the line and then just flares out into the flat. You just see him right out here. Nice little catch by Beckwith and then brought down quickly.
Head coach John Franco thinks Beckwith's most valuable asset to the team is his skills as a blocker, but that time good hands to corral a tough ball in the wind.
Jesse Jones, the lone setback behind Hoover. Initial possession for Tyrone. Jones slams into the lane to about the 34-yard line, a gain of 6. This young man knows what he's doing when he gets his hands on the football. 2,202 yards. There's the Tyrone offense. Offensive line, most of the guys we talked about playing on defense, the brother combination of the McNeilis there, and Jones, 2,000-yard guy, and Hoover, a junior starter, a quarterback, and Josh Lucas.
Watch Steve
also
Johnson.
A big year.
Steve Johnson, the favorite target of Brandon Hoover. Johnson, a hurdle champ at the state track and field meets this year.
They scored 529 points during the regular season, and I think Mount Carmel may have lined up in the neutral zone. Going to find out here momentarily from Bill Scanlon.
And when Johnson lines up on one side.
Dead ball. Encroachment on the defense. First down.
What I was saying, when Johnson lines up on the one side, he's the favorite target. 29 receptions this year.
Defensive starters for Mount Carmel right there. Aaron Ziegler had a big 50-yard return of a onside kick last year in their win against Shadyside. Secondary as good as anything in the state, and the anchor, of course, Nick Sebas, who we're going to be talking about all day on both sides of the football. Hoover back on 1st and 10. The penalty gave them a first down. Long-looking Johnson and overshot him there. Steve Johnson, Mark just talked about him. Favorite target of Hoover, at least in the vertical passing game, and they look long for him here.
Well, you saw in the first drive the danger of possibly throwing into the wind. Now you saw the hazards of throwing with the wind. That ball just plain and simply sailed on Brandon Hoover over the outstretched arms of Steve Johnson. But Johnson had a step on the secondary. Ball simply took off in the wind.
Ball at the 39. It'll be 2nd down and 10. 6:07 to go. We're in the opening quarter. Mount Carmel leading 6-0. Tyrone playing with about a 20-mile-an-hour wind to their back. Motion man is Jamal Owens. Gonna hand it off to Jones. Not much room to play with. The tackle is going to be made by Brett Beach, also underneath the stack for Mount Carmel. I believe that's Jason Scavery, the senior.
Take a look at the way they line Jones up, though, here as Jones slashes his way out across the 40-yard line. 7 yards deep. Yesterday we saw 4 teams that really kept their backs in tight to the quarterback. Today, a tailback type look a la USC, where they're 7 yards deep every time. Gives that back a lot of chance to look over the defense.
Loading up that line of scrimmage. 3rd and 7. Now there's some confusion. Hoover. Time, about 4 seconds on the 25-second clock. Gets it off. Now drops. Mount Carmel coming out of the blitz, and down it goes. Big loss to the 27-yard line. Looks to be Al Bailey in there, among others.
Mickey Burrows as well. You'll see it coming here. Watch this. Burrows does a great job of spinning off. He's actually held up a little bit and then dives, slows up Hoover, and actually causes the play to get knocked down back there on a loss.
Mount Carmel came on the right side blitz, and unfortunately for Brandon Hoover and Tyrone, he chose that way to roll. Rolled right into the blitz.
Great start for Whitey Williams and his Mount Carmel Red Tornadoes today. Jones gets the wind to carry that a little bit. And Bailey fields it at the 35 and goes down immediately. Check that. That's not Bailey. That was Josh piaa, the junior. Now Mount Carmel's defense getting a roaring ovation from their fans on the far side. Everybody decked out in red. Well, it's an odd-numbered year, and it's a year Mount Carmel has not done in the 90s. They went 94, 96, and 98 and swept all 3 of them.
Here's a team in Tyrone that's only given up an average of over 7 points all year, and now they are in danger of giving up more than that in the first quarter of a championship game.
Okay.
Mentioned about the schedule, Mark, that Whitey Williams plays. Hang on.
Reset the 25-second clock.
That's what they want. 25-second needs to be reset. But 7 bowl teams, my college mind here, but 7 playoff teams. played Mount Carmel during the regular season, including Allentown Central Catholic, who did not qualify, the defending champion. AAA, Sebas. Down he goes in a pile. Leading the way for Tyrone, Mike McNeilis again, the 6-foot senior.
He lost a heartbreaker to Allentown Central Catholic earlier in the year, 23-21. Also lost to North Schuylkill, 29-12. And their third loss came at Selinsgrove, 21-14. And from that point out, they have continually improved every week.
That was a game Nick Sebas broke his hand. Shinsky came on, couldn't rally, and he has started the playoffs. John Beach has a hold of the 35. Not much, though. It's only a gain of 3, and it'll be 3rd and 10 upcoming now for Mount Carmel.
Right on 10, right on 10.
Again, that tailback spot, you can see it here. Give a good long look over the defense. Look at the hole that opens up, and you just kind of slip through it.
3:45 and counting to go in the opening quarter. Mount Carmel with their second possession of the football game, leading 6-0. Long, sustained drive to open the game. Against the wind, which is stiff. Backs going to an open set. Dave Shinsky, the freshman quarterback. Looks, he's got Beach. This could open up. Look out. Beach to the outside. Has the first down all the way up to the 48-yard line. Well, the old shovel pass. If you get over pursuit, and Tyrone was caught with flat-footed that time, and Beach makes them pay. That's a good call.
What sells this, watch him stand up. Now, just freeze it right there. He stands up straight, looking downfield. Everybody waiting to see if he's going to pass it. Now watch what happens. Switches it to left hand and shovels it.
Did a great job of selling that throw, sucking the defense in.
Shinsky under center. It's going to be Al Bailey this time, and he winds to the 49 of Tyrone.
Second, good work, guys, good work.
Gained him about 3 on the play. Except Beach. Beach and Bailey are just so similar. That was Beach on the carry.
They're mixing up the plays so well here in both these drives that Mount Carmel's had the ball here in the opening part of the game. And I think really has Tyrone off balance at this point.
2:40 to go in the opening quarter. Mount Carmel on another long drive right now. Shinsky under center. This is Al Bailey for sure this time to the 48. Nothing there. Well, Tyrone's defense. Doug Roseberry again, Mark, the junior.
See Roseberry working along the side there and then getting some help from his friends as well. .205 left, ball at the 48. Get a look there at Tyrone's Tim Drive. He's a 6'2 senior. Big 3rd and 6 upcoming here for Mount Carmel. This is the 6th play of this particular possession. Each second man through, didn't get there. Good play from behind, and the tackle is made by Joe Liner that time, the 5'8 junior. You'll see here right around the front of the play again, Roseberry ever present somewhere near the play at all times.
And Mount Carmel will punt for the first time on 4th down and 4. That's a great play by Liner to keep Mount Carmel. High knuckleball. Owens camps under it at the 15-yard line. And he goes down. Textbook style play by Matt Van Doren. Van Doren, a seasoned veteran. Playoff caliber teams here at Mount Carmel. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Tyrone now, with a wind to their back at about the 19-yard line.
It's a very smart play by Matt Van Doren. On the specialty teams, he was down there in plenty of time to really give the punt returner a lick, but he gave him enough room, made sure he caught the ball, and then came in to make the tackle. That's a good veteran play. There you see Van Doren give him plenty of room, plenty of time, and then he circles in for the kill.
Brandon Hoover, the junior quarterback, has had such a great year. Jesse Jones runs right into Al Bailey. You're looking at one of the top defensive players in the state, an outside linebacker, stood him up after a gain of about 2.
Yeah, you know, Al Bailey played many different positions for the Red Tornadoes, from special teams, tailback, strong safety. Now this season, he's exclusively a linebacker, and he does that very well, and a fullback offensively.
Final minute of this first quarter, going underneath 50 seconds. Brandon Hoover coming under center. Little power eye there. They want to put it in the air with the wind to the back. Hoover's thinking that very same thing. Throws in and out of the hands of Josh Lucas. Ball may have been tipped before it arrived. Pretty good throw by Hoover on the run.
See the pulling guard here, Joe Lerner, number 65, pulling out that time to really lead, or rather number 66, and right in the chest, and that's when it should have been caught.
Tipped or not, I believe Al Bailey may have gotten a hand on that from the outside linebacker.
That's a catch you got to make. He knows. Final 35 seconds left here in the opening quarter. 3rd and 7 now for Tyrone. The only first down they got was through a penalty. Owens your motion man. He's going to get his first carry, and there is absolutely nothing there. You talk about a stop sign on that defensive wall for Mount Carmel. He's 5'6", Mark. I mean, he may blow away before this is done. He's only 155 pounds. And a timeout, Tyrone.
Timeout flag.
One of the lighter guys in the lineup.
He wanted to kick with a wind. That's a good call by John Franco right there. He wants to punt with a wind at his back. He does not want to give up an inch of field position. The chess game has only just begun.
The chess game is really what's so important in a game like this, where the elements do play quite a role. The wind here is quartering again. It's now blowing almost directly across the field, but it still really favors the team that is going from left to right. And so you only have 22 seconds for that to happen if you're Tyrone. Get rid of the football and try to put the other team in a defensive situation.
Hey, look at the Mount Carmel coaching staff over there. Williams. I don't think that's Whitey there. Doesn't look like it.
Spoke about the division.
Everybody's bundled up. It's kind of hard to get a think. That's John Franco. Back turn to you there for Tyrone. Tell you what, Mount Carmel has great return guys. Beach and Sebas. They can hit some home runs and special teams in the return game. Jones gets after it. Gets a roll, and it's going to pound into the turf right at about the 37-yard line. So with 12 seconds left in this opening quarter, Mount Carmel goes back on offense, leading 6-0. It's been impressive for Mount Carmel. For Whitey Williams, Mark, this is about as good a start as you can hope for.
Oh, well, no question about it. Whitey Williams and the Mount Carmel Red Tornadoes, they've gelled week by week. As we said, had a very tough schedule. They played 7 playoff teams, plus Allentown Central Catholic in Allentown. And replaced an offensive line, had to replace his quarterback after the last game of the regular season. So he's heading into the postseason with a freshman quarterback. And I'll tell you, that's a credit to the coaching staff to watch these kids gel week by week.
Dave Shinsky has yet to throw. That's Al Bailey on the carry to the 40, and that'll be the final play of this first quarter.
Jordan, I'll take the football.
You talk about throwing. Shinsky has one problem so far in his 4 games. He's thrown 7 interceptions, and that's one of the reasons today, especially with this wind swirling.
And we've come to the end of the first quarter of play. Delighted to have you here on this afternoon here in Hershey. Jed Donahue, Gary Sutton, Mark Shuey with you. 108 cable systems representing 2.5 million homes and nearly 8 million state residents. That's the television audience for today's PIAA football championships. And a big hello to all the family, friends, and fans in Pennsylvania associated with this state tournament final. Well, Mount Carmel now with a favorable wind to their back. The one thing, Mark, you know, Shinsky has thrown interceptions this year, but they have not come in cataclysmic situations. He's thrown 7 in his short time. Keep in mind, all of his starts have come in the postseason.
Right.
But you got to think Tyrone is looking maybe to get something done turnover-wise, giveaway, takeaway. Maybe you have the young freshman who plays well beyond his years make a mistake. There he is right there. Ball at the 40, 6-0. Mount Carmel on the lead. This will be John Beach trying to find a crack in that Tyrone wall. Not much of one. It's a gain of about 2 or 3 yards, and that's about it. Tackle is made by Liner.
Down to 3. Calm down.
Watch Evan Clesius over here on the far side, number 81, really jam in there in the hole very quickly. Nice job of shutting down what looked like a pretty wide hole to start out with.
timeout. Right timeout.
Got an official's timeout for some equipment.
Just losing or what?
It'd be nice to see if we can get a look at the defensive coordinator for Tyrone, Rick Hatch. You can see him right down here in the bottom of your screen. He's got shorts on.
You lost the track.
In fact, he had a flannel shirt on before the game, but I guess he was a little too warm with that. So he's quite an outfit down there.
Yeah, there it is. Don't let that gear fool you. It is not in any way warm.
Yeah, there's some legs for you there that are a little chilly today.
I think with the stakes as high as they are, you think the players probably not feeling it as much as you'd think they are. Got offside, Mount Carmel jumping. Far side of the field that time, I think, was Al Bailey. Jumped on the count, so that'll be penalized against Mount Carmel. And we'll go to the field for the call.
Dead ball. Full start. For the offense.
Well, you can credit that penalty to Doug Roseberry, the linebacker. He was showing his blitz right there, creeping up to the line of scrimmage. Had the first-year starters and the offensive line a little bit jittery. And so that's good play by the linebacker, Roseberry.
When they do blitz, they like to come with Roseberry, number 53, so you'll see his number flit in and out of there quickly. But as you said, Mark, really kept the young quarterback off guard that time.
Ball at the 39. It's third, and let's call it 8. There's no room here. Beach is just swarmed on at the 36. Scott Gomo is there for Tyrone, as they're beginning to step it up defensively here.
Watch Gomo shed 2 blocks that time to get to the quarterback. Watch this. Here he comes, just kind of spotting him out and then picking him out of the herd.
So Nick Sebas will drop back and punt. High hanging kick. Going to be taken by Nate Varilla, and nothing there. Mount Carmel just playing fabulous special teams here in this opening half. Tackle is made for the Red Tornado by Steve Mazzura, the freshman, 5'11", 170-pounder. Tyrone going back on offense, 6-0. One thing, they have not gotten their running game on track at all.
He also didn't allow Varilla any room to get to the outside and find any open field there. Again, great play by the special teams from Mount Carmel. Owen's
your motion man for Tyrone. They'll slam Lucas into a red wall, and again, a yard or 2, and that's it. Sebas in on the stop. A lot of help from his friends. Also, Nick Cuff, he plays big. He's a sophomore. Another great prospect for Mount Carmel on their defensive line.
5 different guys around in the tackle for that. Just nowhere to go on that right side of the line.
Fast-moving first half. Later today at 5, we'll have Central Bucks West going for win number 45 in a row in the 3rd consecutive state championship against Erie Cathedral Prep. Hoover going to throw a little option. High pitch for Jones, who gets strung out from Mount Carmel about the 40-yard line. Brett Beach in on the stop. Make that John Beach. Brett was here in '96.
It's just a great open field tackle from
Stop
Beach.
for a second right there. Now watch. You've got 4 guys right here that have really pushed that offensive line back and really making it very, very tough for Tyrone to do any serious running at all.
Ball at the 40-yard line. Steve Johnson, it's 3rd and 5 for Tyrone. Hoover, a little draw to Lucas, and Mount Carmel snips it out right away. Cuff is there. Al Bailey is there for the Red Tornado.
Cuff is the guy. You'll see Cuff right here getting around the ankles, and he's really the guy that slows the play up and then allows some of his friends to come in and help finish it off.
Jesse Jones will be back to punt. He had a 41-yarder with the win. A little stiffer this time. Low snap, fields it cleanly. And that's off the side of his foot, and Mount Carmel is going to be in splendid shape field position-wise. Are they looking all the way up at the 36-yard line where that went out of bounds? Yes, they are.
I already saw the effect of the wind. That just swatted that punt right out of the air.
0 yards. Oh, wait. Well, they're moving it up, making a 2-yard punt.
38, George.
There you see.
Really?
Appears to get it fairly good. Just into the teeth of that wind.
Second man through is Veach. Not much room to play with as he slides to about the 35-yard line. Well, Tyrone defensively, Taylor, Roseberry, Liner, Gomo, McNeilis, Beckwith, and Dry on that wall. Gain of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6. Down to 7:55 to go in this opening half. 6-0. Mount Carmel pounded it in on the opening drive of the football game. Now in good shape at the Tyrone 35. This is Al Bailey. Nothing to play with. Down he goes at the 33-yard line. Tyler Beckwith on the stop for the Golden Eagles.
Free now, free.
See Tom Jacobs over here, number 89, really forcing this play in. Very nice job right there.
There you look at the Mount Carmel huddle. Nick Sebas, he's going to line up at a wide receiver spot for now. First game for Sebas and Shinsky together. They hooked up on an 89-yard touchdown pass, the longest in Mount Carmel history. They'll keep it on the ground with Bailey. Liner is in on the stop. Gumo cleans up.
One of his future coaches at Stanford happened to be at that ball game and came eastward to watch that ball game and saw his prize recruit scamper 89 yards, the longest TD reception in Mount Carmel history, as you said, Jed. And what a history it is. The winningest football program in Pennsylvania state history. Program began 100 years ago in 1889 with a victory over Ashland.
Mount Carmel going on 4th and 1. This is a big play in the opening half. Handoff Bailey. It's close.
Wow.
It's real close.
From here, it looks like he did not get it, but we're going to wait and see where the spot is made.
It's close. They're obviously going to move the chains in here.
And that was led again by old number 53 there. That's our guy, Doug Roseberry. He's been tough all afternoon so far. Watch again. He's the first guy to get a piece right here.
Play captain if they want. We're going to have first either way.
I don't know. I think he's short. About half a ball or so. They're going to stretch it out.
Make us look good. You ready?
We'll see. Out it goes. The whole football. Tyrone is held. That's a big play for the Tyrone defense on 4th down and 1.
Once again, it's the linebacker, Doug Roseberry. And, you know, he didn't have a real good stick. That was basically an arm tackle. That shows you the strength of that young man at 205.
What he did is he slowed him down that time, and then Gummo came in and finished him off. And a nice job there by the two stalwarts of this Tyrone defense.
Well, now Tyrone's got to make something happen with it. 6-0. Mount Carmel leading after scoring on their opening drive. Brandon Hoover, the quarterback, 6-foot junior, is going to pitch back. Here's Jones. Mount Carmel strings him out. I'll tell you what, Mount Carmel has been most impressive defensively. Al Bailey there. Yasinchak, the sophomore. Yasinchak now 4 tackles away from setting a new single-season record at Mount Carmel. There's Bailey.
Jesse Jones' career here at Tyrone, 4,400 yards. Transferred to Tyrone back in 1997. Stepped in as a starter 5 games into that season, and the tailback spot has been his ever since.
That's a dynamic team. He was a freshman on in 97 at Tyrone. Hoover running for his life. Boy, Mount Carmel is really applying the pressure. Pass incomplete. But really coming was Aaron Ziegler that time, the junior. Again, we mentioned seasoned veterans. Mount Carmel has been in this environment looking for their 4th state championship of the 90s.
Here you see the play-action fake. Hoover trying to get out there and find some open space, chased out of the pocket there by Lentini, and then has to throw it and just out of bounds. Good pressure.
5:46 left here in this second quarter of play. Eric Latchford is into the game at a wide receiver spot. 5 wide receivers there, 4 rather, for Brandon Hoover to look. Under the gun, throws, pass caught, stick, fumble, ball down. It's incomplete, they say. wild sequence of events, but the physical, intimidating play of this Mount Carmel defense is why.
Take a look here. They're trying to set up the screenplay here as they let the blockers get on through, but it's been spelled out right from the beginning. Here are your 3 blockers coming through, and right here, they've got it pegged. As you see, number 28, Al Bailey, right on top of the play.
One thing about quarterback Brandon Hoover, he does not make mistakes. His touchdown to interception ratio is outstanding. 16 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. He went a streak of 10 games without throwing an INT this season.
Ooh, big difference with the wind in front of you, isn't it? To the 48-yard line, and Mount Carmel getting good field position yet again. I think that's like a 10 or 12-yard punt. Last one went 2 yards.
That last offensive possession, nothing out of 4 on 4 passes for Brandon Hoover, but watch this.
20-yard kick.
Never really gets a good foot on this one, though. Drops way too low and just kind of sides it. It's like a duck 9-iron.
Ball at the 48-yard line as Dave Shinsky will put Sebas in motion. And the power toss, not much there. Both defenses are dominating now. In on the stop is Mike McNeilis.
Wait, you see the pitch back here, a little sweep play that Sebas used to run from quarterback, now from the tailback spot. But good defense again by Tyrone as we see Michael McNellis on top of that, the 6', 235-pound senior.
Underneath 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. 2nd and 8 for Mount Carmel. Shinsky passes, has a man incomplete, overshot Josh Piaa, the junior. He's only 5'7", but this gives you an idea of Shinsky's arm strength. A freshman at 6'3", he'll be the next great quarterback out of the Cole region.
And Jamal Owens, who you're looking at, thought he may have had a shot at a pick, and he may have. That may have sailed off his hands a little bit. As we mentioned earlier, Shinsky just 40 attempts so far as a starter, 7 interceptions. But you know what? That hasn't really made him gun-shy at all. He's very confident, and the coaches are confident in him. It's a good trait to have as a young freshman quarterback.
Well, on 3rd and 8, they'll put Shinsky into the shotgun. Blitz is coming. Shinsky running for dear life. The ball is caught by offensive lineman John Bartol. And he takes it back to the 45-yard line, but a big loss on the play of 7 yards, and Mount Carmel will punt with a wind to their back.
I don't think they drew it up like that, but it'll go into the books as a completion.
Well, let's get a moment here for John Bartol right here. Now, you see, up in the air, we're going to freeze it right here. There's probably the first reception ever for John Bartol, and you'll see him take it, and then nimble of foot heading on upfield.
280-pound receiver, at least for a play.
He looked pretty snazzy.
That every day.
Looked pretty snazzy after he had the ball there.
About 1,000,000 to 1 odds that he'd be on the offensive line score at the end of this game. 1 reception for a couple of yards. All kinds of stuff going on there at the line of scrimmage. We'll see how they sort that out with Bill Scanlon.
On that last play that Bartol called, we'll come back after this.
Here he is.
Set ball. Full start. For the offense.
On the last play that Bartol caught, Jed, I think a lot of people were wondering why wasn't that an illegal pass or illegal receiver, but basically it may have been called a fumble.
Right.
Before he ever really got the arm through on the forward motion.
4 minutes exactly to go. And punting is Dave Shinsky down. For Mount Carmel, high snap. He gets it out of there. This is going to be Varilla. Varilla's got some room for Tyrone. Gets it up to about the 38 or 39-yard line.
Well, did you see the difference in the punts with that wind? That ball sailed downfield.
You can have a bad punt with the wind right now, and you'll take a look at it. A bad punt, although it's a little flat here, and obviously a little bit of room running back here for Varillo, but quickly the Mount Carmel defense transitions and pushes them out of bounds.
That ball went about 45, 50 yards in the air.
Coming up at 5 o'clock today, Central Bucks West against Erie Cathedral Prep, exclusively here on the Pennsylvania Cable Network. Delighted to have you with us here for the afternoon session. Tyrone with the ball, Jesse Jones. There's just nothing available for him to find a seam to run in. I mean, Mount Carmel defensively in this game has been sensational.
Look at the wall of white and red that comes up right in front of me, right here. You can see it coming up right in front every time, and that's where they like to live. Tyrone, they love to run straight between the guards and the tackles, and nothing there today so far for Jesse Jones.
He's got 6 carries for just 15 yards. I think Tyrone has 1 or 2 first downs. One of those first downs came by penalty. That's how dominant the Red Tornadoes have been. Jones again, his 7th carry. And again, maybe 2 yards. That's it. Nick Cuff, Al Bailey, also in on the stop. Yastenchak, the sophomore. He's a tackle machine. We mentioned he's about ready to set another record.
How dominating is Mount Carmel's defense? Well, Jesse Jones rushed for better than 2,200 yards. He's been held under 100 yards only once this season. That was in week 5 against Central. And in that game, he ran for 94 yards, so he just missed the 100-yard mark there. But everybody has had problems stopping Jesse Jones, but Mount Carmel seems to be doing the job.
3rd and 5 for Tyrone. Hoover, a big handoff. This is Steve Johnson to the outside, and Mount Carmel puts the fire out before the first down at about the 47-yard line. He needed the 49 up near midfield. And it'll be 4th down for Tyrone.
8 guys in the box that time for Mount Carmel. So what do? Kick it around the outside. It's not working up the middle. You can see the 8 guys fooled for a moment, but then regrouping, stopping him just short of the first down.
Now, John Franco, he's seen Mount Carmel start drives at the 35 and at the 48. He says, why not go on 4th and 1? My defense has held serve in bad field position before. Why not take an opportunity and jumpstart things? There's your time remaining in the 2nd quarter. It's a big call in this game if Mount Carmel can stop them, and they have been dominating the line of scrimmage for the most part. Tried to get a cadence call, and they did not do it. It's going to be a delay of game.
Okay, that's delay. Okay.
That is against Tyrone.
Dead ball. Delay on the offense.
He almost got him to jump, though. Somebody was moving around, but he got back.
Yeah, he really did. It didn't quite get into the neutral zone there. And as you said, Jay, got back in the set position. But here we'll see it right here. You can see the jump right there. And then he gets back and gets back in position.
Good camera work for our WITF production crew. Seasoned veterans at events of this sort. Been together for the PIAA championships in all sports for a long time. The big ones, football, basketball, wrestling. Good punt by Jones, considering the circumstances, to the 39-yard line. Mount Carmel with 1 minute and 25 seconds left in the 2nd quarter. The lead at 6-0, and 3 timeouts to play with. See if they can get something done with the wind at their back.
Yeah, way out. First touching on the block.
That is as Cora following as you're going to find. Tyrone, I don't know if anybody's left there. If you're watching on TV in Tyrone, welcome. Everybody else in the neighborhood is gone. They're here.
This is a huge crowd here for a AA game. It's great how high school football programs just generate so much excitement throughout communities throughout the state.
This looks like a record for the Hershey side. This is Pinsky. It's going to be intercepted. That ball got underneath a little bit. Eric Latchford on the interception for Tyrone. So the game reset. They'll have it near midfield and 2 timeouts in 1 minute 18. There's Latchford on the INT.
It's defensive end Tim Dry who makes this thing happen. Watch, he's going to come in.
Here. Watch the pressure coming in. Right there it is. Forces him to throw a little bit early and way short.
He just didn't have a comfortable motion at all back there.
Threw off his back foot.
8th interception against Shinsky. But as Whitey Williams said, the good thing about good quarterbacks, you have to have a short memory. Cornerbacks do as well. He'll keep firing.
Yes, he will.
This is a big possession now for Tyrone. Can they do something off the turnover? They've been given a gift momentum. Hoover back. Hoover looks. Now he floats it up. Got a man out there and incomplete. Pass intended for Steve Johnson. Pretty good coverage, though, for Mount Carmel. Boy, they have been just everywhere defensively in this half. Brett Beach, John Beach, rather, and Nick Sebas. I knew I'd get the Beach thing confused before it was all said and done.
We promised to forgive you on that one.
There were about a half-dozen Beach names you could say they played for Mount Carmel. But, yeah, John Beach, just a junior, 5'10", 185 pounds. Great two-way player. Good coverage that time on Steve Johnson. He's Tyrone's ace receiver.
I met his parents earlier this summer. I said, boy, they ought to give you some special award for putting talent like that into the program. Here's Jones loose for the first time today to the outside. Has the 35 and all the way down to the 29-yard line. It's a gain of 21. That equals what he did on his previous 7 carries. Might even pass it as far as yards gained.
Take a look. Lead blocking going out right here. We almost had a clip here on 50. If you'll see us, he's going to push right in the back here just for a moment. No call there as you saw him push, and then right around the corner goes Jones.
What a gliding run. Coach John Franco says he's a natural. He runs so hard and gets great leverage that it's so hard for one guy to tackle him. He has all the instincts of a good back, and that's stuff that you just can't teach. How to read your blocks, how to glide through the hole. He's a good one, Jesse Jones.
Minute 2 remaining till halftime. That's only the second first down. That's the first one they've gotten the conventional way.
Yeah, right there was 50 pushed it off. And I thought they might throw the flag down on him there, but instead it was good block, and it freed Jones up for another 12 yards.
See how at the end of that run, how he made his cuts in and out, and it's very tough when you do that as a runner to have, as a defensive player, to get a good lick on the runner. And that's another thing Coach John Franco said. He doesn't really recall many people getting a good shot at Jones because of his shiftiness as a runner.
First and 10 for Tyrone, trying to make something happen. They've got one timeout left. They had to use one in the first half to keep the win so they could punt. Now they have one remaining. Motion man is Owens. Hoover on play action. Back, looks, throws, got a man. Johnson, it's a 50-50 ball and overshot him at about the 5-yard line. Al Bailey applying the pressure for Mount Carmel.
Now Jesse Jones can not only run the ball, but he picked up a nice block. They came in on the blitz. Brandon Hoover is set as the quarterback, and see you talking over with the coaching staff. Hoover is set to throw. Blitz coming from the linebacker. Jesse Jones out of the tailback spot picked it up. Nice block. Gave his quarterback additional time to get the throw off.
Hoover completed his first pass. Now has thrown 6 consecutive incompletions. They'd like to have one here at 2nd and 10. Ball at the 29 of Mount Carmel. This is the deepest penetration of the day for the Golden Eagles. Jones to the outside. Almost got free. Positive yardage to the 24, a gain of 5. Who else but Al Bailey on the shoe tops?
Al Bailey.
Tackle. Watch the blocking here on the left-hand side. Opens up just a little slice of a hole, and Jones shoots on through and picks up a quick gain. It's now going to be 3rd down and 6.
30 seconds left. Tough pass for Hoover that time, intended for Steve Johnson. Good coverage. I believe that's Veach over there. Yes, it is.
That's 4 now. 4, Johnny. Where we at, John? 6.
Check that. That's Lentini.
Gary told you earlier that the wind is kind of swirling a little bit. Right now, it is going across the field, and that ball got caught up in the wind. It caught a tailwind and just sailed over the intended receiver, Steve Johnson.
So 4th and 6 now for Tyrone. At about 25-yard line. There's your time remaining in the second quarter. AA state championship. Hoover back. Hoover has time into the end zone. Looking, Jones turning it around. It's intercepted.
Brought down by Lentini again, who just made a good defensive play a moment ago and intercepts this time. Everybody in the place knew where they were trying to go with that one.
Ball just hung up there again. That crosswind that Mark was talking about just didn't come down quick enough.
You see 2 guys double teaming right here, and then Lentini comes underneath it and gathers it in.
Quarterback.
And really, that's not a terrible play if you're Tyrone. It almost is like a punt down there, frankly.
You take your crack at it. Great shot of it right there. Good concentration. Just kind of playing some center field. Veach roars to the 27-yard line. That'll probably be the final play of this first half. Nope, Mount Carmel going to take one of their timeouts. They have 3 to play with. Just 12 seconds to go in the half.
Well, it's your final time with the wind until the 4th quarter, so I guess you're figuring if we're going to have one really good play here, or 2 possibly, let's take care of them right now with the wind and see what we can do.
How gaudy are the numbers on Veach coming in? 300 carries for 1,692 yards. He's over the 1,700-yard mark now.
Getting 5.6 every time he touches the football during the season and 15 touchdowns.
Yeah, you know, only 12 seconds remaining in the first half of play. You're on your own 25-yard line. But with some of the offensive firepower that Mount Carmel has at the skill positions, talking about John Veach, Nick Sebas, and Shinsky, even Al Bailey, I mean, why not? Why not take a crack at it? It's almost like having a long bomb in your backfield each and every play. You can score from anywhere on the field.
You want to know how tough it's been for Veach today? A guy that normally averages 5.6 a carry. Today, 37 yards and 13 carries. That's under 3 yards a look. So the Tyrone defense doing the job here as they've done all season long.
Well, Mount Carmel came into this game a year ago and just overwhelmed the field on their way here, and then overwhelmed Shadyside in the state championship game. And now leading 6-0. Shinsky back. Shinsky hit again, just kind of unloads it. That's going to be a grounding call as Tim Dry lays him out at about the 20-yard line. There's Tim Dry right there on your screen.
10 black on a face mask.
Now
We're going to go from the line of scrimmage.
We're going to go 15
from the line, okay? We're going to have
15
first
against
down.
Tyrone.
Is there still time, Eddie?
Here's the referee's mark. Listening there to Bill Scanlon,
Incomplete pass.
sorting things out. So this is going to be an automatic first down for Mount Carmel.
Tim Dry, the defensive end, came in and got a piece of the face mask at quarterback Dave Shinsky.
So they'll start marking it off. Now, with this wind and Shinsky's arm, they might be able to get a crack into the end zone. He can throw it 60 yards in the air.
Yeah, now you're in Hail Mary territory.
On the defense. First down.
Well, that's a tough call against Tyrone that time because Dry had the advantage. He had leverage. He was all over Shinsky for the second time. He forced the interception.
Tim Dry already 7.5 sacks and 2 fumble recoveries this season.
There's Sebas in motion. They'll hand it off to Veach. And Veach trying to get to the outside. Has positive yardage. Still going to the 40 and out of bounds at the 35, and that'll do it. Clock winds out at the end of the half, but John Veach, with a big gain, and we come to halftime. Mount Carmel with a long drive to start the football game. We hit the break. Mount Carmel leading Tyrone 6-0. We'll return to the Hershey Park Stadium with second half action. First half highlights and like after this timeout.
You're watching live coverage of PIAA Championship football exclusively on PCN, the Pennsylvania Cable Network.
The PIAA is a Pennsylvania nonprofit corporation organized on a membership basis. Membership includes most of the public and many private high schools in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. The PIAA develops and enforces rules which are authorized by the member schools to regulate interscholastic athletic competition. The PIAA was formed in 1913 by a group of high school principals to establish uniform rules, eliminate abuses, and place interscholastic athletics in the overall context of secondary education. The purposes of the PIAA are defined in Article 2 of its Constitution. They are to organize, develop, and direct an interscholastic athletic program which will promote, protect, and conserve the health and physical welfare of all participants, to formulate and maintain policies that will safeguard the educational values of interscholastic athletics and cultivate the high ideals of good sportsmanship, and to promote uniformity of standards in all interscholastic athletic competition. The PIAA believes that the student athlete is best served by a system which emphasizes the amateur, educational, and character-building aspects of high school sports, a system which recognizes that athletics is not the driving force, but rather that students are in school primarily to obtain an education. The membership of the PIAA consists of approximately 1,300 schools divided almost equally between senior high schools and junior high middle schools. Of that membership, approximately 150 are private schools. Nearly 250,000 students participate in interscholastic athletics under the PIAA each year, placing Pennsylvania 7th in the United States for the 1997-98 school year. The 4 major areas in which the PIAA currently operates are the following: establishment and enforcement of rules governing the eligibility of high school athletes to participate in interscholastic athletics. These include rules for academic performance, attendance requirements, transfer students, pre-participation physical evaluations, age, and amateur status. Organizing and operating 27 post-regular season playoffs and championships in 10 girls sports, and 31 post-regular season playoffs and championships in 11 boys sports. Adopting the playing rules for each sport under its jurisdiction. With the exception of bowling, golf, girls lacrosse, rifle, and tennis, all other playing rules adopted by the PIAA are published by the National Federation of State High School Associations, of which the PIAA has been a member since 1925. registering and training officials to officiate at contests in which the PIAA member schools participate. Nearly 13,000 officials are currently registered with the PIAA. The PIAA's principal source of revenue is the sale of tickets to its playoffs and championships. Gate receipts enable the PIAA to operate without taxpayer financing. The PIAA also provides services to its members on a day-to-day basis through its headquarters in Upper Allen Township, Cumberland County, near Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. The PIAA assists member schools and families by providing the student-athlete with opportunities for achievement.
It would be easy for us simply to work with PCN to offer these telecourses, and that would be it. In other words, a student tunes in, they interact with the instructor, they get their transcript, they're done. We believe that a college experience should be much more than this. And so we have developed a full range of services, advising, counseling, the bookstore. We're working on student activities as well. If students have a problem, whether it's a personal problem, whether it's a problem in the course, we believe that there should be a telephone number that they can call, toll-free. If they have access to the internet, they can get into our webpage and ask one of our counselors, one of our advisors, one of our tutors for some additional help. And so we've put additional resources into this area because we're not doing this simply to generate additional revenue. We're doing this truly to help people to be more successful.
For more information, contact Montgomery County Community College at 1-888-636-MCCC.
Hello, and welcome to the Pennsylvania Cable Network. We're delighted to join with you in celebrating high school athletics in the Commonwealth. Everything that we do here at PCN, from our daily coverage of the General Assembly to programs exploring manufacturing, from carriage of significant Pennsylvania events to our satellite distribution across the state, all of this is made possible by Pennsylvania cable television companies which carry our network on their channel lineup. Often at PCN, we'll list the names and service areas of local cable TV providers. These are the community-minded companies which voluntarily pay a monthly fee to cover network programming and operating costs. PCN receives no state funding. We are supported instead through the generosity of cable systems which make PCN available to their subscribers. In watching high school sports on PCN, we hope you'll remember the commitment of Pennsylvania cable television companies. They're the ones that make this network and today's programming possible.
Homework Help on PCN is a live 2-hour interactive call-in program for students in grades 1 through 12. State-certified teachers will work through math and science questions with students.
5x times 3 gives you 15x. And Jesse, what do you get if you add the 2x and the 15x together?
17x.
That's exactly what you want.
Homework Help on PCN airs throughout the school year on Sundays, live at 5 p.m.
I'm James J. Duratz of the Pennsylvania Cable Network, and I'm here with my wife, Helene, today because we have some exciting news on the sports program. And Helene, I got to tell you that I'm really shocked that you're here to talk about sports because you're constantly complaining about too much sports on programs and you can't get me to do anything.
Well, Jim, would you like me to give you an explanation to that?
Yes, I would.
In my view, too many sports events today are based on salaries and other cash considerations. There is no spirit. With these high school championship games, and remember, Jim, we'll be viewing the telecast of the girls' events for the first time. Yeah. You see spirit, enthusiasm, the desire to win, just good fellowship at its very, very best.
And remember, Helene, this is the championship games we're talking about, and it could be the last hurrah for so many of these young men and women to represent their schools.
That's a very interesting point, Jim. Why don't we take this opportunity to invite our good Pennsylvania friends to join us in viewing the championship games of both our young men and women on the Pennsylvania Cable Network, PCN.
Sounds like a wonderful idea, Helene.
Good. We'll see you all there.
Their quest for gold began in the hot days of August. Throughout the season, teamwork started paying off, and players stepped up. Finally, 8 teams have set themselves apart for a chance to be called state champions. Live coverage of the PIAA Football Championships continues tonight at 5 with the Quad A Finals, exclusively on PCN. PIAA Championships throughout the year, exclusively on PCN. In February, team wrestling. In March, individual wrestling and boys and girls basketball. In May, boys tennis. In June, boys volleyball, girls spring soccer, baseball, and softball. In November, girls tennis, girls volleyball, field hockey, and boys and girls soccer. And rounding out the year in December, championship football. For additional high school sporting events, check our webpage at pcntv.com. Live coverage of the Pennsylvania Farm Show begins Saturday, January 8th on the Pennsylvania Cable Network. Watch the championship rodeo, livestock judging, horse and pony pulling contests, sheep-to-shawl competitions, and many other events capturing the flavor of Pennsylvania's premier agricultural showcase. Around-the-clock coverage of the Pennsylvania Farm Show begins January 8th on PCN.
Governor's office, $25 million check presentation. It'll be a $75 million facility, HOK, same people that designed Camden Yards, Jacobs Field, the ballpark at Arlington, and they're going to keep a lot of the same design in the new arena, and they're going to keep that old gal open. That's the oldest running building now, Mark, in North America, since the closure earlier this year of Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Yeah, and if you've never been to the Hershey Park Arena, you should treat yourself to a visit to the Hershey Park Arena, to one of the PIAA Championships, basketball or wrestling, or one of the many activities they have at the Hershey Park Arena. They have concerts and they have ice skating, and it's a fabulous arena, one of the true landmarks within the state.
It's one of the best places in the world to watch hockey. You're right there on top of the action, and I mean, you can feel the whole thing, and every Olympic gold medalist in this century has skated in that building right there.
And of course, that's where Wilt Chamberlain scored his legendary 100 points in a game against the New York Knicks back in 1962.
You know what, they had 4,000 there and 4 million claimed to have seen it that night.
Exactly right.
Both teams are coming out onto the field. Delighted to have you with us here on exclusive live coverage on the Pennsylvania Cable Network. Jed Donahue, Mark Shuey. The coach, Gary Sutton, is going to be making his way upstairs here momentarily. 6-0, Mount Carmel on the lead. We saw two great games yesterday. Southside Beaver 27-21 in the Single A Championship against Southern Columbia. And then the Mark Jones show last night. Strathaven just workmanlike 21-7 win over a real good team, West Allegheny. But Jones saved 14 points with hustle defensively in the first half last night. Scored 2 on offense, and boy, Strathaven won their first gold medal. A legit club.
Yeah, it's a good, solid club through and through, but when you put a talent like Mark Jones on a very good team, well, that has state title implications written all over it. And, you know, Strathaven and West Allegheny, they both entered the season with eyes pointed towards Hershey. They fully expected to be here. They got here, achieved a lot, a fantastic ball game, and a lot of talent on the field here throughout the weekend. We're going to see a beauty tonight. Erie Prep and Central Bucks West, some of the premier talent in the state, premier talent in the nation, excuse me, because these two teams are both nationally ranked.
Well, this looks to me like a championship game record as far as attendance, Mark. I have most of the bleachers filled, the Tyrone side. I know a lot of people are watching in Tyrone today. Probably not too many people home in the neighborhood, but we're glad to have you along with us. And, of course, Mount Carmel, just a legendary type program. Jazz Deminick, some of the biggest names ever in Pennsylvania football history. And there aren't many people up their way either today.
It is the winningest program in the state of Pennsylvania. And, you know, they picked up win number 500 back in 1978. It's an incredible football powerhouse. It's a program that's 100 years old this year, began in 1899, and Mount Carmel's looking for a state title in 1999. That would be their 4th state title of the decade, should this lead hold up, as you look at the Red Tornadoes circling in the end zone, getting ready for the second half of play.
We're beginning to smell it. Gary Sutton is rejoining us here in our broadcast vantage point, high above the 50 here at the Hershey Park Stadium. We're looking at Tyrone. Gary, let's plug into some of your coaching past a little bit. You've got the tradition of Mount Carmel. Whitey Williams looking for his 4th state championship. They took 3 losses during the regular season, but they never stopped believing. They had to rebuild an offensive line, and you've got a seasoned veteran core coming back, your senior leadership and the like, who are used to playing in this kind of environment. How does that help you as far as selling your message?
Well, I think it helps you a lot in the sense that tradition kind of drags you along here. Whitey Williams is a guy who knows how to make adjustments at this point in the game. I got the impression they got a little conservative after that first drive in the first half, and Tyrone made some great defensive adjustments. I think Whitey Williams is the kind of guy that will go back to what worked in that first drive and almost script out those plays, much as we saw in that first drive that accounted for the only score in the game. On the other side, you got to give Tyrone credit. John Franco kept his team within a touchdown, and that's really what he was trying to do, I think, the whole end of the first half there. Played a little bit conservatively. I think they've got to go to the outside the second half for any kind of yardage gains, because that middle is just not available right now. Mount Carmel playing great defense up front.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they've got to find a way to get Jesse Jones to the outside. Not easier said than done, granted. But, and keep in mind, Tyrone, they had Steve Johnson beyond the secondary, but that ball just sailed in the wind a little bit on quarterback Brandon Hoover, or this could be at least a tie ball game, if not a Tyrone lead.
Let's eavesdrop on midfield.
You want to toss or like to defer? It's your choice. They want the ball. They want to receive. White, which goal do you want to defend? Okay, turn your back to the scoreboard, please.
Tyrone will get the
Tyrone
ball.
will receive the second half kickoff. Good luck, gentlemen.
Well, Tyrone got in this game in 1996, close to their home at Mansion Park in Altoona. And we're trailing 7-6 at the half, but Mount Carmel just really turned it on. And I'm getting all my Veaches confused. Brett Veach was the star at 96, and there's the assistant. How do you wear shorts in this stuff?
Rick Hatch, I'll tell you.
Well, for us big guys, we have a little more insulation than most other people, so you got to kind of keep that in mind.
Yeah,
and
but
still, today, I'll tell you, I was just down there, and it is cold and windy.
Tyrone had 6 drives in that first half, 6 plays, 4 of which went 3 plays in the other 6. So they haven't had to pill a whole lot.
Some individual numbers. Jesse Jones, 43 yards in the first half of play. Their leading rusher for Tyrone. Mount Carmel's leading rusher, who else? John Veach, 61 yards on 14 carries.
You know, it's interesting. Last night we had 1 punt in the whole game. Today it's been like a punt festival down there, and really the defenses have accounted for the kind of pace at which this game's being played. 6-0 as we start the third quarter.
Yashinchak on the kick. It's a roller. And it is going to be fielded by Jerry Wilson. Good field position for Tyrone to start this second half. Brandon Hoover, their junior quarterback. So you take a look at Jerry Wilson, who fielded that kickoff to start the third quarter. Well, Tyrone, you don't want to go too far away of why you're here. It's called running the football. They have a prolific rushing attack. Jesse Jones, 2,202 yards. Lucas with well over 700 yards. And Hoover is good in the air. And they've got the wind at their back, so they have all of their tools in this drive. And there is Wilson, Luke Jones, rather, running right into Nick Sebas.
And a little bit of a reprise from the first half. Mount Carmel says, no, we're not going anywhere. We're still right here. A wall of white in front, and actually a loss of about a half a yard.
That was Yashinchak. My mistake there. He's only a sophomore. Where do they come up with this? Well, I guess winning, you talk tradition, Gary. That means your 7th and 8th grade teams are always good, too. You just kind of feed the monster.
If you view those guys, you can step in their place in coming years.
Hoover, they string it out. There's Mount Carmel again defensively. Aaron Ziegler, the first man on the stop. Mount Carmel, this game is being played at their volume, their tempo.
Here you see Ziegler, Corral, and Jesse Jones. And that got some help from his teammates. That is not an easy task at all. Jesse Jones, one of the best runners in the state, hemmed in by the Mount Carmel defense. Jed, you ask how they do it. Well, you know what? Wade Williams, he's a great coach. Puts a lot of these kids, underclassmen, in second halves of ball games and gives them a lot of experience and practice. And I'll tell you what, it's a great program. These kids get a lot of experience.
Hoover play action, throws down the middle, incomplete. Looking for Owens, forcing the issue.
We mentioned last night how hard it is to throw into the wind, but people don't often talk about how hard it is to throw with the wind and how much the wind gets underneath the ball. You really can't be as accurate as you'd like on a long pass.
Well, that's their 5th 3-and-out in this football game out of their 7 possessions overall. 10:35 left in the opening quarter. Jesse Jones, who's punted well with the wind, will now kick it back towards Mount Carmel. And Mount Carmel's defense, as advertised, getting better and better as the season goes. Line drive kick, going to be fielded by Piaa. Trying to get to the outside and dives to the 36-yard line. Hit and drop by Jerry Wilson. And the young quarterback coming out of the field for Mount Carmel, Dave Shinsky, as we look at the punt return again.
Very good. Nice moves from Piaa. See the eyes up there, looking things over, waiting for the blocking to set up. Never really getting to the outside, however, to get any significant yardage.
Shinsky did throw an interception in the opening half. He was under heavy pressure. Tim Dry was really forcing it. John Veach bounces outside and strung out. Tyrone crawls all over him there. Mike McNellis, 6-foot senior on in the stop. We've called his name a lot today.
They pulled the guard that time, Sean Thomas, 64, out to the right side, and Veach actually ran into his back, which shut down any kind of hole that he had for a moment.
Quad A final of 5 here on PCN. Central Bucks West out of the east. Erie Cathedral Prep out of the west. Much anticipated matchup. Sebas, your motion man, double handoff, Veach, nothing there to the 36-yard line. Handoff, boom, bang, down. Gain of 1.
The old Notre Dame cross-buck play there. You fake it to Bailey, then give it back to Veach coming the other way, a little misdirection. And frankly, you talk about disciplined defense right now. Tyrone really staying in their lanes and doing a great job of just shutting down any misdirection at all.
Yeah, that time defensive end Tim Dry shook off a block and made the play.
Mount Carmel, 11-play, 82-yard drive to open the football game. And that's it so far today. The back ball is intercepted. Tim Dry, touchdown, Tyrone. What a sensational play to tie the football game. Conversion coming with 9:04 remaining in the 3rd quarter. What a lightning bolt that is.
First interception of the year for Tim Dry. Look at this. Hands up, brings it back down. What an athletic play, and then finds his nose and heads for the end zone. Tim Dry with a big turnaround play in this game.
30-yard interception return for the touchdown.
Well, Tyrone has been opportunistic all year. They are now a plus 23 in the turnover category, and none bigger throughout the year than that one. A 30-yard interception return by Tim Dry into the end zone for a touchdown here in the state championship game.
Scott Gumo for the conversion. This is big. It's up, and it is good. Tyrone leads for the first time. 7-6 with 9:04 left in the 3rd quarter. And their fans are going bonkers. One of the storylines in this game going in. Would the freshman quarterback make a cataclysmic mistake? And he did.
That is Tim Dry's dad.
Is Mr. Dry right there. And he is, what we might say, a little bit happy right now.
Yeah. You could just see him say there, you could read lips, my son. That's my son.
Well, his son just hung Mount Carmel out to dry on that last play and gives Tyrone the lead.
That's great. That's one of the neat things about high school football, how it can just energize a community, bring families together. There you see Scott Gummo, the leading tackler for Tyrone in the first half of play.
Well, he's a heck of a kicker. I mean, straight on. There was no problem there. He hit the scoreboard with that.
Yeah, that was a good shot.
Only problem with that was a lost ball in the parking lot.
Hey, we parked our car out there, Jed.
Yeah. Did we?
Hope the windshield's intact.
Well, you've got a freshman quarterback I got to think 14 years old. That's a tough spot.
Well, we were talking to some coaches up here in the booth, and they were watching him warm up. Dave Shinsky, I'm talking about.
They really like his future,
They really do.
don't
They said he's got the best technique they've seen for a young kid. He's got a great future ahead of him. You're going to hear a lot of him in the next 3 years.
He's the first ever freshman to start in a PIAA championship game at any level, single through quad.
Unfortunately, today is 9th interception.
Well, that's a big-time play by Tim Dry.
Huge play by Dry.
And Mount Carmel a little bit out of whack. Miscommunication there with Bailey and Beach. Well, Mount Carmel, this is a poised group. They've been in a lot of tough football games this year. Trailing 7-6.
A couple of years ago, I remember a freshman who started for North Hills. Turned out okay. Tailback. Guy by the name of LeVar Arrington.
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Be the first pick. Probably the Washington Redskins, who have New Orleans #1. Right now, Mount Carmel trying to weather a storm. They go to Beach, and Tyrone's excited defensively. You can really see the tempo really climb as Doug Roseberry.
Yeah.
Watch Roseberry on this hit. Take a look right here. Here's Beach. Now stop it right there. Here's Roseberry rising up right in front of him, and watch what happens. Boom.
What, did that interception return kind of blow out the carbons a little bit? It generated some excitement in this place.
You said it earlier, Gary. It's really impressive how this Tyrone defense, they're staying in their lanes and plugging the holes.
They're juiced right now. They're the kind of the only touchdown, and you can see it again right here. They are fired up.
Scott Gumo, he's in on the stop. Tyler Beckwith is there, along with Eric Fleisis.
If you're Mount Carmel right now, it's all up against you. The wind's coming in your face. This team is fired up, standing, looking across the line at you. It really is not a good situation. You almost want to try to get a few yards and get out of here.
And if you're thinking, well, Coach Whitey Williams won't have Dave Shinsky throw the ball. No, au contraire. He is very much confident, and this interception won't bother Shinsky at all. He's not gun shy.
Well, they don't want to punt against this win. They want to try and convert. Pass Bailey, and he's laid out. What a hit by Nate Varela.
Wow. Good solid pass, too, from Shinsky that time. And you talk about hearing footsteps.
Bailey usually delivers that kind of blow at his outside linebacker spot. And he's shaken up. He had his bell rung there a little bit. That's a big concern at the Mount Carmel area.
There it is. And whack.
That is textbook tackling.
Got him right in the rib area,
Varela.
too.
Well, this is a storyline for Mount Carmel because they need this guy on both sides. He is an all-state candidate at outside linebacker.
I think
seasoned veteran.
Just got his bell rung pretty good here. I think he's just out of breath, and he's kind of catching up with who he is again.
He was the only freshman to play in that 96 game against Tyrone. The other one we mentioned was Jamal Owens, and fortunately, he's getting up.
Al Bailey's played a lot of football for Mount Carmel, and a lot of different positions, too.
Look up Winter and Bailey's pictures there. A lot of other kids, but Bailey is just one of those kind of guys you have to have. It's a tough out for Shinsky here, and then he's going to cover it at about the 37-yard line. Splendid field position for Mount Carmel, trying to weather an undertow right now. They're going against the wind. The interception return for a touchdown by Dry has just jump-started momentum for the Golden Eagles here.
And now what Tyrone wants to see is can that momentum be translated from the defense to the offense, which has not been able to really cash in all day long.
The Tyrone's defense has really picked up the volume, as we mentioned. Mount Carmel's has played brilliantly today. This will be their 8th possession. They've had 5 3-and-out. Ball is down, but picking it up is Lucas. And negligible yardage, may have lost one, back to about the 40.
That play was ugly from the outset. In fact, Brandon Hoover really didn't have a good handle on this. Look at that.
Watch the poise, though. Jesse Jones just kind of picks it up and says, well, I'll just keep running with it a while.
Yeah, Jones saves the day for Tyrone.
So it's 2nd and 12 now for Tyrone. The ball at the 39-yard line of Mount Carmel.
The other factor here with the wind right now, too, is Gummo. If we can get him down about 20 more yards, he's within field goal range.
They might only need about 10 or 15 with his leg.
Watch him put 50-yarders to start the practice today.
Oh, Hoover's having a whole lot of trouble with that snap.
That's an exchange situation. His center for Tyrone, the center, is Dave McCann.
You know, in talking with the Tyrone people, the two concerns they had coming into this year were, number one, the quarterback, number two, replacing an offensive line. Both have really come around in great ways. Brandon Hoover, only 3 interceptions all year and like 17 touchdowns.